Senator Durbin.
Thanks a lot, Madam Chair. Dr. Carson, good to see you.
You too.
We've spoken several times about at least 2 or 3 communities in Illinois, Chicago, obviously, but also East St. Louis and Cairo. East St. Louis, my hometown, has a large population of low-income families who live in public housing. They did a recent review of the public housing there, and they found that they need more than $42 million for backlog capital repairs. This is not unique across the United States. I understand the figure is some $26 billion needed to repair and make habitable and safe public housing. It grows by more than $3 billion a year. Yet when I look at your budget and I look for the 2 funds that we could turn to in East St. Louis to repair the public housing operating fund, your budget calls for reducing that by 38%. And then the public housing capital fund, you call for its elimination. So what am I supposed to tell the folks in East St. Louis based on the president's budget when it comes to the housing they're living in that's not safe?
Well, first of all, thank you for your attention to that. I know that's an issue you care deeply about. The escalation of the capital cost is very troublesome. And each year, traditionally, we've added more and more money to these capital funds, and we've needed more and more, and it's just a continued growing problem. So looking at things that can reverse that trend, I think, is very important. Things like the RAD program, where now you've got private sector involved and you've got sustainability that's not coming out of government funding. Also, many of the places that you just talked about are in opportunity zones. So there will be, an opportunity to merge those with some of the other new developmental economics that are going on in the area.
I'm not familiar with anything in East St. Louis that would do that.
That would be in an opportunity zone?
No, it is an opportunity zone, but I don't know of any efforts underway to use that opportunity zone to deal with the very real housing problems that are currently facing these residents.
Well, I will tell you, I was last Friday, I wasn't in East St. Louis, but I was in St. Louis at the Foundry, the old Foundry project that's going on there through the opportunity zones is being completely revitalized. A lot of investments, not only from Missouri, but from throughout the country.
Well, I hope that you can come over to our side of the river and entice them to do the same. I'd like to ask you about another issue you'll be familiar with from your professional life work, and that relates to the University of Illinois Hospital, which is near the Loop, downtown Chicago. It's well-regarded, highly regarded hospital. They did a survey in the year 2017 of emergency room admissions, and they found, Dr. Carson, that there were 48 individuals responsible for 780 emergency room admissions in the year 2017. Mm-hmm. These 48 people had one thing in common: all homeless. Now, they had other issues, physical and mental issues for sure. And this hospital finally realized it was costing them thousands of dollars every time they walked through the door.
Correct.
And diverting medical resources. So the University of Illinois Hospital came to me and said, what can we do to deal with housing for these people? We're paying a heavy price already in our hospital because of homelessness.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a unique challenge. I think it's a challenge you'll find in many cities across the United States and small towns too. And I just have to say, it's a big challenge for presidents of either political party. Do you feel there's a commitment by this president and your administration to actively try to deal with the homelessness issue? I look at some of these budget cuts and I don't see it.
Well, in fact, you see that we've asked for an increase for our homelessness programs. It's a very high priority. And we recognize that
I think
a person...
you said 3.5% increase earlier. Is that what you're saying?
We've asked for the increase, yes. But we recognize that it costs more to keep a person on the street than it does to house them. It's average $33,000 to $44,000 a year to keep them on the street, and it's about $21,000 to house them. So we do know that, and that is reflected in the programs that we're working on.
Hope we can do more. Thank you, sir.
Okay.